The boy's spacesuit suddenly turned white. He immediately realized something was wrong. He quickly spread out his hands and found a leech trying to burrow into his skin. The boy shook his hand in fear, but it was too late. The toxin had already seeped into his body. In the blink of an eye, it spread throughout his whole system. The boy tried to inject the serum to save himself, but the virus invaded his nervous system, causing his vision to be severely impaired. Terrified and helpless, Will begged his father to save him, but the father showed no expression, calmly instructing his son how to save himself. Will had no choice. He fumbled to take out the first serum and forced himself to inject it into his heart. But when it came to the second one, Will could no longer find the right spot. He even lost all feeling in his hands. Will completely lost consciousness. His body collapsed weakly. Fortunately, the second serum was injected successfully. Seeing his son escape danger, the father's expression grew even more tense, because the temperature difference between day and night on Earth was extreme. As time passed, the surrounding temperature was dropping rapidly. If Will could not reach the geothermal zone before nightfall, he would lose his last chance of survival. At this time, the father could only call for Will to wake up. Luckily, Will heard his father's voice. He woke up in time, finally reached the geothermal zone before the extreme cold arrived. Surviving the freezing night, Will once again set out on his journey. But not far ahead, the road came to an abrupt end. A bottomless cliff blocked the way, and what was worse was that only 2 breathing vials remained, not enough to support a detour. For his son's safety, the father decisively ordered the mission terminated, but Will was unwilling to give up. After all, he had come this far. Besides, his father's injury was serious. If not treated in time, the consequences would be unimaginable. Determined, Will did not hesitate anymore. He leapt off the cliff. The father stared at the console in extreme tension, praying his son would be safe. Fortunately, the glider opened smoothly. Will soared through the canyon like a young eagle, but before the father could breathe a sigh of relief, another accident happened. A giant eagle spread its wings, appearing right above his son. Realizing he was treated as prey, Will immediately changed direction and dived down, planning to use the water flow to escape. But the giant eagle was faster. As soon as he passed through the waterfall, before Will could steady himself, he crashed head-on into the giant eagle. The son's communication cut off abruptly, and the father's heart sank instantly. But the disconnected Will was not dead. He was carried back to the nest by the giant eagle. Seeing only newly hatched chicks beside him, Will was about to escape, but suddenly several tigers climbed up the trunk to protect the newborn chicks. Will chose to stay. He used the weak spot under the nest and successfully took down one tiger. At this moment, the giant eagle returned in time, driving off the other tigers in just a few moves. Free again, Will continued his journey, but too much time had been lost. Night was about to fall. A frost quietly approached from behind. His spacesuit instantly turned pure white. He could no longer resist. In the end, he collapsed weakly on the ground.